As we always do about this time.
No, don't do it.
Suck a shit.
No.
You know, I was thinking.
Uh-oh.
Oh shit, not good.
I was watching this young teenage white girl, forgot her name. She became famous because she was an advocate for climate change.
Okay.
Right?
Greta.
Yeah, Greta something.
Yeah.
You know, and whether it's that or different things we've done the last couple of years with jab, if you go against them, they say you're anti-science. Okay? So I know a few scientific things myself. Okay? So one of the laws of science is the skeet principle.
Bruh.
So this is boy meets girl. Boy talks to girl, they eventually have sex. Once he skeets, all of his senses are heightened, right? His hearing is enhanced, and he realizes that her stories are awful, and she's not that funny.
Maybe it's just not
She's not that cool to hang around with. All of a sudden, his sense of smell is heightened, and he realizes that she has terrible morning breath. Like her breath smell like earring backs.
Stinky. Boy, your breath stink like ass, man. Oh, my mama.
All of a sudden, his eyesight, his vision is so great, and he realized she really don't clean up this apartment too good. The back of the toilet is dirty as hell. You know? And her heel's a little rusty. Another, that's for black people. Whatever showing better have lotion on it. So, okay, you might think that's not scientific enough. So, let's call it post-nut clarity.
Post-coital clarity.
Post-nut clarity. Now, somebody's gonna watch this, and they're gonna be like, "You misogynist, that's whack." And you know what I'm gonna say to you? You just anti-science. Anti-science niggas is on some sucker shit.
You suck.
I would definitely say there is empirical data to validate that theory.
Definitely to the post-butt.
100%.
Post-bus.
Okay.
That bitch never makes my bed. I leave, come back, the bed's still made up.
Like,
You was
yo.
asleep. I left you slayed. I put down some savage swordsmanship. You were knocked out. You didn't even know I got up and went to work.
And you can't even pull
All
the
I
covers
ask is that you
Make the bed.
make the bed
up. Just pull them up at least. Damn.
and take them little raggedy eyelashes with you. You know what I mean?
Ooh. I hate the eyelashes.
I'm just serious.
Me too. Hey, listen, I ain't man to that. I'm in your church. First of all, I'm not 50. Young niggas old. But I was talking to Rob this week, and I was talking about the concept of a treadmill to him. I was talking about motion without progress, okay? And I'm dealing with someone, and I care deeply about their advancement and them being their best selves. But they're stuck on a treadmill, right? And because you want somebody to do better or do well, sometimes you end up on that same thing with them, right? So a treadmill, you get good exercise, but the scenery never changes, right? My destiny is a road race. There's no such thing as a two-person treadmill. So you on there running somebody else's race. You got to get off and get your ass on the road. And it doesn't mean you don't care about this person, but this person is stuck, and what you're doing and thinking you're helping is helping them be stuck, because they always have a safe place to go back to, right? It's like the Temptations always come back to the mic when they dancing around, you know, And then I look around, I'm the fifth damn heartbeat in the group. You know, I'm Eddie Kane. So I had to learn to get off the treadmill because it's not my race.
Yeah.
I'm running somebody else's.
At their pace.
Yeah. The second thing, and this is a gift and a curse for me, I have the ability, even right now, to be fully engaged in a conversation, but I'm literally also sitting on that couch over there watching us at the same time, right? So a thought experiment or challenge to yourself, people, is can you coldly analyze yourself? Can you look at yourself from that area and look and go, okay, I see, okay. Ooh, I was on some bullshit right there. Ooh, I was tripping. Oh, I need to work on that.
Yeah.
Oh, I was dope right there.
Yeah.
Oh, I need more of that in my life. Can you do that to yourself? Now, most people can big up themselves and downplay the negatives and make excuses. But I'm saying cold analysis. And that cold analysis has been one of the keys to my growth as an individual. Life is about balance though. So what's the downside? Well, the downside is sometimes in personal relationships, I can seem cold because I'm analyzing. Or because of my sense of humor, oh, everything's funny to you, right? Well, yeah, right? I've sat at funerals with people I love, and I'm thinking the jokes in my head. This is how I deal with life.
Right.
Right?
How you process things.
Right? You want me to be all crying. I can kill that motherfucker. That heart disease, fried chicken killed his ass, you know? You should have told him to stay away from Louisiana, you know? And now you want me to be crying and draped all over the casket, you know? So that gift and that curse has been something that I've been managing my entire life. And recently, maybe it's last few years, I kind of got a grip on it now. I used to scare the shit out of myself.
Well, the crazy thing is, man, when you were talking about the treadmill piece, is that, you know, that piece of disconnecting from, you know, or allowing that person to be on their own treadmill. That's about you. You know what I'm saying? And what I loved about our conversation that we had was you were like, I'm different now. You know, I recognize this, that's their shit. but me being in the mix is also my shit, and I choose to disconnect. So that was dope.
Think about it this way. And this is gonna sound harsh, but it's me. Cold analysis. We don't even think about where we getting our stuff from. Okay? I was talking to my homegirl at work, and but of course we wasn't talking about her mama, what I'm about to say next. But she was talking about some different philosophies that were passed down. And I was like, well, have you analyzed where that comes from? Like, does that come from a space of hurt in her? Does that come from this place and this place? And then I said, now, I'm not talking about your mama, but if you had to say that and recognize that your mama was a hoe, could you say it? Could you say it, and could you deal with it, and that still be your mama? Now, if you could do that, then in your mind, you know, okay, this is not the person to be taking relationship advice from, okay? My mom ain't had a decent relationship since the 70s. But The Flashlight was the #1 album. They still had a typewriter, metal, home ec, wood. They had all that shit in school they don't have no more. And this the person you take a relationship advice from, right?
Right.
But you have to be able to step back and be cold. I call it cold in your analysis of the people around you and where you're getting your philosophies and information from.
Right.
Well, the cold means it's not necessarily a negative, but it's just pure analysis without any emotion over it. You know what I mean? You're not putting you're not coloring it. You know what I mean? It's not warm, it's not fuzzy. Let it be what it is. Let it represent what it is, you know? And so it's funny that you say that in the analysis, And there's a way I used to take that same approach, that analysis. My partner Steve had to check me, and he was just like, you know, you have to learn that your logic, what do you gain in forcing your logic on someone and getting them to acknowledge it? You know, you should be confident in it. It was logical. It is what it is.
Let it lay right there.
Exactly. And if they choose not to recognize it, then it's up to you to decide where you want to go from there in that way. Is that little piece of factoid and logic in that space, in you being right, is that enough for you to create that impetus in the relationship? Are you really going to cut this person off? Or you know, because you know how they see it. You know what their tendency is to do in that space. So it's up to you to make that adjustment, man. Like okay, cool, you're right. Awesome. And they're choosing not to recognize it. You know what you're still probably going to do? You're still probably going to kick it with them.
Yep.
You know? And he said, so, you know, we always, me and my partners always talk about, you know, and, you know, we've had this conversation about the mouse, devil in a blue dress, you know, that mentality.
Yeah.
Of knowing what people's tendencies are. So when he was like, you know, why did you kill him? He was my friend. Well, why did you leave him with me?
Yeah.
I'm a killer.
That's it.
You know,
That's it.
and once you get to the point where you are in recognition of what people are, not what you want them to be, not what they project themselves to be, what they are, accept them for what they are, what they've shown themselves to be, and then you move accordingly based on those actions. You know, it doesn't mean you're not positive. It doesn't mean that you don't have a positive outlook on people, or you don't look to people to project them into a nice space. It just means you're pragmatic, and there's nothing wrong with pragmatism, man. Like, no, that's it. Like, there's a dog. He is unfamiliar. He is rather large. I don't need to pet him to test the theory of, well, if you do an open hand to a dog and allow him to come to you, I don't need to do that. There's nothing gained in that. Big dog, scary. It's cool with me.
Recognizing who people are and acting accordingly, that's also a sign of your growth. You know, as an individual, makes me think, I used to host Thanksgiving at my house, big family function. And 1 year, I had a couple cousins, and I wouldn't let them upstairs, my son's room. My aunt was like, why they can't go up there? I was like, because them niggas steal. And it's gonna be a problem tomorrow when the video games come up missing or something. I said, so you can come into the house, but there's certain rooms you can't get into.
Oh.
And that includes family.
That's a metaphor for your mind and your spirit.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And I had to tell somebody that I love dearly to help raise me, no, they don't have the same access you have, because for whatever reason, they don't have the same character that you have. I'm not asking them to stop stealing. This ain't the just say no program in my house. I'm about to drink this yak and eat this turkey, you know? But he can't go upstairs. That's it.
Hey, listen, I'm sorry, man. I'm struggling right now because based on what Ren was saying earlier about, you know, about how you call yourself, identify, it made me think about the transgender swimmer. I'm sorry. I don't know if we want to get into
that. My pronoun is my nigga. My nigga.
Oh, Dirt McGirt.
You want to get into it?
We can get into it.
We got 6.
I have a thought experiment, because you know.
Okay.
Based on this current environment, what we're supposed to be told to believe is there's no difference between men and women, and it's fluid. Tomorrow, depending on how I feel, I'm now a woman, right? Okay. In college, for that swimmer, there's Title IX. Title IX is a federal regulation that there has to be equal funding and equal bodies in male and female athletic departments. It's reasons why. This is the reason why, like a school like Cal State Long Beach, Long Beach State had to get rid of their football program because there's no women's sport that has that amount of bodies. At the bigger universities, they have the funding, so the football program can pay for everything. You know, they have a women's kickball team, right? So this is why, as we get split as black folks, we fall for the okie doke. So in order for white women to get scholarships, black men got kicked out of college.
Wow.
That's how Terrell Davis ended up at Georgia, and then
Really?
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Now let's take this further. Well, if there's no difference between us, well, we don't need Title IX anymore. We don't need women's sports. Let's just have a basketball team and the best 12 people are on the team.
Well, we know how that'll shake out.
So,
9
but
times out of 10.
on the flip side of that, I'm supposed to believe that men are more violent than women, and that's why we need the funding and the shelters.
But we know intimate partner violence is about
Women. But if tomorrow I say I'm a woman, do I become less violent now because I feel different?
ooh, I didn't see that coming. Good.
These are just thoughts that go through my head, and I'm like, oh, to me it's all a shell game. Now, no disrespect to anybody's individual path, right? But do we look at it from a societal standpoint? I would say that our grandparents' generation were about the collective, the family, the community. This generation is about self. It's far more individualistic than we've ever been.
Agreed.
And the danger in that is some narcissism is gonna kick in. I'm the most important thing in the world, and the world has to bend to me. And then you're in trouble when you don't bend to me.
When the goal should have been to bring that space into the collective and change conceptually what is normal, what is considered abnormal. Like, hey, this is the collective, come into the collective and then change people's perceptions of it, as opposed to trying to create these definitive lines, to define things, because that's makes things more complicated. My partner Steve's an attorney, always says, we don't need more laws. We need to enforce the ones that already exist. So when people are talking about, post George Floyd and, all these other things, he's like, if we just enforce the basic tenets that existed in the original stuff, we'd be fine. So you can't litigate mentality. You can't litigate bias. You can't litigate these things. There has to be some form of recognition in the people who are exerting the power in order to welcome into the space. But so when you start making these lines, like they said, well, like the swimmer, for instance, and this is no knock on the swimmer. The swimmer stayed within a specific guideline of testosterone for a year and sat out for a year.
No, she followed the rules.
That's what I'm saying. But as if that negated the previous 19 years of testosterone manhood.
There's no shot gonna eliminate puberty.
And muscle development, like
Bone density.
exactly. All of these biological facts. So you're gonna create this arbitrary biological space here and make it defined and say, so what do you say to the person once they've complied with that?
Man, look, you
can't say anything to them. They did
Right.
what you said.
Right.
and this,
And
you can feel how you want to feel, but you're gonna have to go get your prostate checked when you're 40.
is this not